1 through 5. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he pruneth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean, though the words which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branches cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can you except ye abideth in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. May the Lord add a blessing to this reading. This time the pastor will give us our message.
All right, I have something special for mothers today, and so if you're a mother, time to stand up, stretch your legs, and stand up tall. So we'd like to get the kids to help out. So if the kids want to come up, that's Jacob and Stephen and Samantha and Christian and Megan and Kylie and Caleb and Joe. You got some of your grandkids here.
We got Jason, John.
Okay. So the kids will grab a flower and they'll bring them to you. So stay standing.
I would actually encourage all women to stand at this moment. God has blessed you and created you for a purpose to stand as we honor the mothers. You're all mothers in one way or the other. So all women, please stand if you're not standing.
I'm standing.
Good.
And Kathy.
That was right. Oh, you're the mother? It's Mel and mother too. The mother's you. Make sure everybody gets a flower. Even if they're not standing, I see a lady sitting down.
Everybody got the flower? Okay. Is there anybody that needs to take a flower home for somebody? Okay. Joe needs one, and Joe needs one. Not Joe, but Joe and Joe. Alex, you need one for your mom? Okay, Alex needs one. Raise your hand, Alex. Yeah, there's plenty of them, and so there's going to be, I think we got some people that are going to have a few readings. Okay? Joe, you got one? Come on up here. Mel, you got something to read? Okay. All right, I've got something to read, and then the pastor, he's got something to read, so.
Your turn.
Well, let's come on up here.
We'll give you the first preference.
Okay, I'm trying to pick through here. Kevin, he already read. Either I was looking over his shoulder or he was looking at my shoulder last night. I bet we were on the computer at the same time. So, you might have heard some of this, but this one I thought was kind of interesting. It says, the mother attempted to feel her work as unimportant. The mother's work often seems to her an unimportant service. It's a work that rarely is appreciated. Others know little of her many cares and burdens. Her days are occupied with the round of little duties, all calling for patient effort, for self-control, for tact, wisdom, self-sacrificing love, yet she cannot boast of what she has done as any great achievement. She has only kept things in the home running smoothly. Often weary and perplexed, she's tried to speak kindly to the children, to keep them busy and happy, and to guide their little feet in the right path. She feels she has accomplished nothing, but it is not so. Heavenly angels watch the careworn mother, noting the burden she carries day to day. Her name may not have been heard in the world, but it is written in the Lamb's book of life. The true wife and mother will perform her duties with dignity and cheerfulness, not considering it degrading to do with her own hands whatever it is necessary to do in a well-ordered household. And so, Bob talks about, and Illinois talks about prayers of mothers. And so, there was a time I had left church, and my mom just kept praying and praying and praying. And when we came back, she said, well, my prayer was finally answered. So, the work of mother is fairly important, and mostly there in the raising of the kids and prayer for her family.
Well, like he says, Kevin is a tough act to follow there. He did a nice job this morning. But what is a mother? Well, naturally, a mother is a woman that's had a child. And that comes quite naturally, that part of it. My father told me many years ago when I was a teenager, he said, this was when I first started noticing that girls were, different than boys, and started to want to cruise down the street and look at the girls. And he said, girls are very nice. And he said, girls are natural nesters. He said that makes them a little different than boys because they just naturally make a nest. Well, as a man-child for many years now, I've watched about 3 generations of men and heard about their mothers and whatever, but as I observed my friends and relatives and business acquaintances, schoolmates, army buddies, some of them with real good mothers, some not so good mothers, and some very unwilling mothers, and some neglective mothers. I've seen that no matter what kind of a mother you have, the mother guides you on your path of life. Maybe all the way to prison, depends on what kind of a mother you had. But my mother was one that picked me up every time I fell. Every time I tipped over as a little bitty guy, she'd rush over and pick me up. And when I fell out the 3rd-story window of the apartment house we lived in, she kicked off her shoes and ran all the way around the building and scooped me up. And of all the different things that a mother has to go through and put up with children and the disappointments, I only saw my mother cry one time. I was 15 and a half years old, and I'd just gotten my learner's permit, and my father had been training me to drive semis in the parking lot way before I had this learner's permit. But after I got my learner's permit, we went out on the roads, and he was teaching me to drive this 50 Chevrolet pickup. And so I thought I was getting pretty good. I'd had 2 lessons already out on the road. And Mom and Dad went with a couple of friends to a movie one night, and so the boys in the neighborhood piled in with me, and we went out to see how fast that Chevrolet would really go. Well, to make a long story short, I lost my nerve. I let off the throttle. We went into one ditch and out of that ditch back to the other ditch, and then we hooked the running board on the bank as we came up, and it rolled over back up onto its wheels and turned around and headed back the other way. Now, when my folks come home, one of the neighbors in the neighborhood had already taken me to the police station because he didn't know what else to do with us, so he took us all to the police station. Well, and in the meantime, then the policeman sent me to the doctor, and I got some stitches in the back of my head. And Mom and Dad came home, and I really thought I was in trouble, but they were really cool. They both handled it really cool. But back to my mother crying, the very next night, my brother and I are playing basketball out in the driveway on the garage that my grandparents who lived on this side shared with my parents who lived on this side. And the basketball got stuck on top of the garage, and my brother climbed up on our side of the garage, threw the basketball down to me, then jumped off the other side of the garage and landed on Grandpa's rototiller. Consequently, he was bleeding badly and ended up with 14 stitches in his leg. But I hollered for Mom, and Mom was in the house, and she come running out, and she began to cry, because this is 2 nights in a row her sons have been bleeding, and she just said, why all at once, Lord? And she broke into tears, and that's the only time I saw her cry in my life. But I heard about her crying one other time. My father told me that I made a mistake when I was in Vietnam, and I was wounded in a night position, and I wrapped up that fatigue uniform in a package and I sent it home. And it had a blood stain about this long on it, down the left pant leg. And my father told me many years later that as Mother washed that uniform repeatedly, trying to get that blood stain out of it and out of her mind, she cried each time she started the washing machine. Well, those are the kind of things that mothers have to put up with. And to all the wives of these men that have grown up as man children, I just hope that you'll get your turn on the sacred pedestal of a mother, because that's where sons place their mother, on a sacred pedestal.
Amen.
Well, he put up quite a topic there that I can't even stand next to that one. I was one of those children that, my mother's not here today, so I can give a little light without her feeling that I'm going to be up against those eyes looking at me and reminding me what. You know, yeah, I would remember every time we go somewhere together, she'd always turn around. I was the only child for 6 years before my brother came along, and so my mother was very protective over me. And that's what I told her when I moved her here to Nebraska. I told her, I deserve you. We have a relationship that my siblings don't have. Because an only child for 6 years, I knew what the mother's love, I think, really pulls and but I remember going with her different occasions, different church gatherings, or the homes of family members, and she would look in the back seat and she'd look straight at me and she'd tell me, say, Melvin, remember, be good. I don't understand why, but I remember seeing the cases of family members and other people that were there. They would always wonder, and I'd hear those little comments, there he is. And they'd look at their children and they'd tell them, be careful around him. I was thinking about an article here, the reading that I came up across that just really brought memories back to here. You'll probably follow along with it. It's entitled Mom's Life, and it's written by Delia Ephraim. Take your plate into the kitchen, please. Take it downstairs when you go. Don't leave it there. Take it upstairs. Is that yours? Don't hit your brother. I'm talking to you. Just a minute, please. Can't you see I'm talking? I said, don't interrupt. Did you brush your teeth? What are you doing out of bed? Go back to bed. You can't watch in the afternoon. What do you mean there's nothing to do? Get outside. Read a book. Turn it down. Get off the phone. Tell your friend you'll call her back right now. Hello? No, she's not here. She'll call you when she gets home. Take a jacket. Take a sweater. Take one anyway. Someone left his shoes in front of the TV. Get the toys out of the hall. Get the boys out of the bathtub. Get the toys off the stairs. Do you realize that that could kill someone? Hurry up. Hurry up, everyone. Everyone's waiting. I'll count to 10 and then then we're going without you. Did you go to the bathroom? If you don't go, you're not going. I mean it. Why didn't you go before you left? Can you hold it? What's going on back there? Stop it. I said stop it. I don't want to hear about it. Stop it, or I'm taking you home right now. That's it. We're going home. Give me a kiss. I need a hug. Clean up your room. Set the table. I need you to set the table. Don't tell me it's not your turn. Please move your chair to the table, up to the table. Sit up. Just try a little. You don't have to eat the whole thing. Stop playing and eat. Would you watch what you're doing? Move your glass. It's too close to the edge. Watch it. More what? More, please. That's better. Just eat one bite of salad. You don't always get what you want. That's life. Don't argue with me. I'm not discussing this anymore. Go to your room. No. 10 minutes are not up. One more minute. How many times have I told you, don't do that? Where did the cookies go? Eat the old fruit before you eat the new fruit. I'm not giving you mushrooms. I've taken all the mushrooms out. See? Is your homework done? Stop yelling. If you want to ask me something, come here. Stop yelling. If you want something to ask me, come here. I'll think about it. Not now. Ask your father. We'll see. Don't sit so close to the television. It's bad for your eyes. Calm down. Calm down and start over. Is that the truth? Fasten your seatbelt. Did everyone fasten their seatbelts? I'm sorry. That's the rule. I'm sorry. That's the rule. I'm sorry. That's the rule. And I'm sure you can add to that list there. My mother had lists too. And she believed in sparing out the rod. I was a product of my mother's prayers, and I think many of you can compliment your mothers too about the same thing, that you were products too of your mother's prayers. I could go into telling you story after story about deliveries that I was, from occasions of disaster that I was delivered from. Because I believe, because the prayer sent up for me. We can't forget that. And I think it's a great occasion for us to remember our mothers on this day.
Thank you, fathers. Thank you, men, for a wonderful tribute. I have also a small reading to do. Hope you would appreciate that. But before I do that, I know I didn't call all of you to give a tribute, but I'm pretty sure that one or two people who would want to say a few words about their mother or Mother's Day in general. So I'd like to see if there's anybody here in 30 seconds or under who wants to say something on Mother's Day. And from wherever you are at, you can just say it. You don't even have to stand it. Is anybody here that I'm missing out? Want to say anything about mothers or Mother's Day? Yes, Gary?
My mother had 8 kids, and we revered her memory of her and how she raised us and prayed for us all the time.
Okay, well, that's good. Thank you for your sharing. Anybody else that I'm missing out? Well, these are reading, 2 short readings you can put up with me. One is written by, to the question why God gave moms. You know, these were the answers given by the elementary school age children, and then to a few more other questions. Why did God make mothers? The answers: she's the only one who knows where the Scotch tape is. Mostly to clean house, to help us out there where when we were getting born, to help us out there when we were getting born. The question, how did God make mothers? Answers: He used dirt, just like for the rest of us. Magic plus superpowers and a lot of stirring. God made my mom just the same way, just the same like He made me. He just used bigger parts. What ingredients are mothers made of? God makes mothers out of clouds and angel hair and everything nice in the world and one dab of mean. They had to get their start from men's bones. Then they mostly use string, I think. Why did God give you your mother and not some other mother? Answers: we are related because God knew she likes me a lot more than other people's moms like me. What kind of a little girl was your mom? My mom has always been my mom, and none other than other stuff. I don't know because I wasn't there, but my guess would be pretty bossy. They say she used to be nice. So the question, what did mom need to know about dad before she married him? Answer: his last name. She had to know his background, like he's a crook. Does he get drunk on beer? Does he make at least $800 a year? Did he say no to drugs and yes to chores? Why did mom marry your dad? Answer: my dad makes the best spaghetti in the world. That would do good for me. And my mom eats a lot. She got too old to do anything else with him. And to the question, why did your mom marry your dad? My grandma says that mom didn't have her thinking cap on. Who's the boss at your house? The answer: mom doesn't want to be boss, but she has to because dad's such a goofball. And another answer: mom, you can tell by room inspection. She sees the stuff under the bed. I guess mom is, but only because she has a lot more to do than dad. What's the difference between moms and dads? So moms work at work and work at home, and dads just go to work at work. Mom knows how to talk to teachers without scaring them. Dads are taller and stronger, but moms have all the real power because that's who you got to ask if you want to sleep over at your friends. Moms have magic. They make you feel better without medicine. Has it not happened before? I've seen mothers just put water and say, you're good, and he suddenly feels invincible again. I don't know how they do it. What does your mom do in her spare time? Mothers don't do spare time. Mothers don't do spare time. To hear her tell it, she pays bills all day long. What would it take to make your mom perfect? On the inside, she's already perfect. Outside, I think some kind of plastic surgery. Answer, diet. You know, her hair, I dye it, maybe blue. Oh, okay, he said diet, but what he meant is dye. Dye. So but he said it as diet, you know, her hair, I dye it, maybe blue. That's what he wanted. His mother said to me, blue. If you could change one thing about your mother, what would it be? The 9-year-old says, she has this weird thing about keeping my room clean. I'd get rid of that. I'd make my mother smarter, then she would know it was my sister who did it and not me. I would like for her to get rid of those invisible eyes on her back. Well, on a more serious note, this was quite an intriguing thing. And I'm just going to read the write-up only without the introduction and the others, but if you want to know the introduction on another time or later on. But this is acknowledging the wide continuum of mothering. To those who gave this birth to their first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experienced loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who experienced abuse at the hands of your mother, we acknowledge your experience. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we mourn that life has not turned out the way you longed for it to be. To those who step-parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envision lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have emptier nests in the upcoming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who place children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you, mothers. We do really care for you as mothers, and I'm glad that my elders didn't forget this day, especially Merlin, who just had to run out in the moment when we really thought he would be here. He got a call, he's on call. So thank you, elders, for organizing this flower giveaway. This is a little things that they just show that we do appreciate women and ladies and mothers in our church, and you're a very important part of our life. Without you, the scripture simply says we will not be complete. We will just not be complete. So you add to your families, but you also add to our church family, and we are so grateful to you. I do know there are mothers sometimes who purposely miss church so that they don't have to be reminded of some bad and difficult experiences in their lives. But let me tell you, you don't have to shy away. It was not an accident that you were a mother. And it is never an accident. God in His perfect will knows what is happening. And just stand tall, whatever it took, for you to go through in your life. You are here, and that's what matters. And if we have offended you in any way in the past year, apologies. But if we made